Courageous Self-Care Podcast. I'm your host, Christina Marlette. On this podcast, we talk about self-care that goes beyond what we usually think of as self-care. It goes beyond the spa. It goes beyond bubble baths. It goes beyond chocolate and wine. It goes deep, and that is why it makes a big difference. It's called Courageous Self-Care because it takes courage. And the best thing about it is that it changes your life. Be sure to stick around to the end. I have a gift to give away to all my listeners. So let's get into today's topic. This month, we've been covering foundation number 2 of Courageous Self-Care, which is finding harmony between masculine and feminine energy. Lots of people out there teach about feminine power and how to access it, and that is a fantastic place to start. And then what I love to do is go the next step and find that harmony between the two, because if we just go into our feminine power, we're not actually balanced. We're way off to one side of the pendulum. We've been on the masculine side for most women in today's society. We swing over to the feminine. I went there. It wasn't pretty. It was a gong show, actually. And so what we want to do is come into the bottom of the pendulum where we're swinging back and forth going, now in this moment, I'm choosing consciously to access my masculine energy. And now in this moment, I'm choosing consciously to access my feminine energy. Having the consciousness about it makes a huge difference. So today's topic is how to stop struggling with meditation. And this has to do with masculine and feminine energy for reasons I will explain shortly. First of all, let's talk about the origins of meditation. So it's a practice that originated thousands of years ago in India. The reason that it was done seated is because people would gather, men actually, would gather in the jungle, on the jungle floor. That's where they would go to do this meditation practice, and there were no chairs. So they ended up sitting cross-legged on the floor. And as I mentioned, it was men doing it. The women were not invited. So the way that we have been taught to meditate has been passed down generation to generation, and it is actually designed specifically for men. Interesting, right? So if you are a woman who struggles with the way that you've been taught to meditate, more than likely it is because it is honoring the masculine side. There's nothing wrong with that. And I myself do a seated meditation on a daily basis because I want to connect with that masculine energy. However, there are some problems with this form of meditation, especially for women. The energy of men when they are meditating is that they want to transcend emotion. I learned this from John Gray, the author of many books, including Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. I had him on my web TV show last year. And what he said is that the energy of men when they are in meditation is like the desert. They are wanting to transcend emotion. That helps bring them to inner peace. For women, it is the exact opposite. Women are not designed to transcend emotion. We're designed to dive into it. So if you're a woman who has been trying to do seated meditation practice while in stillness and thinking, oh my gosh, all I'm doing is thinking thoughts, there is a reason. It's because the meditation that you've been taught to do is honoring the masculine tradition. No problem with that. It has its place. But if you have been struggling with meditation, that is more than likely why. So I'm going to give you 2 different ideas for the best meditation for women. Are you excited? It's all going to change from this point on. Woohoo! No more struggle with meditation. No more trying to quiet the thoughts. That works well for men with practice. For women, we don't actually want to quiet our thoughts. This information for the number 1 practice that I'm going to share with you for the best meditation for women comes from John Gray. He's done years of study and scientific study monitoring hormones and emotions and so on. So this comes from his work. The best meditation for women is to actually go into the emotions. That is what brings women peace and calm and relaxation. If you're sitting there being frustrated about the thoughts that continue to show up, that is not peaceful or calm. It just creates more stress. So if that has been your experience so far, it's not your fault. It's just how we've been taught to do it. Here is practice number 1. You're going to ask yourself 3 questions. This is the meditation. Number 1, when was a time that I felt joyful and happy? And then you think about that time. You relive it. You don't need to be seated. You don't need to be still. You can be driving in your car. You could be washing the dishes. You could be doing the laundry. And you can bring your mind into when was a time that I felt happy and joyful. And then you think about it for a few moments. The way that you know you're doing it correctly is if it brings a smile to your face. That's question number 1 of 3. Now, question number 2 is when was a time that I felt peaceful? And then you go there. You get to dive into the emotion of peacefulness. And you think about it for a little while. You notice what it looked like. You notice what the smell was. You notice what, maybe there was wind on your face or a light breeze. Wind wouldn't be happy and peaceful for me, but a breeze would be. Maybe the sun was shining on your skin. Maybe you were wearing a specific piece of clothing that you remember the texture of. So you're tuning into the 5 senses. Was there a taste? Was there, what's the other one? Sight, touch, taste, smell, and, okay, whatever the other sense is. It's eluding me at the moment. Dive into those senses. That's question number 2. Question number 3 is, when was a time that I felt loved? And then you dive into that memory. That is your meditation. It can take about 5 minutes, and you can do it anytime, any place. That is all you need to do for meditation, and it will help you feel that peacefulness, that calm, that relaxation that has probably been eluding you up until now with meditation. The other best form of meditation for women is actually being in your body. It is through movement. And there are guided meditations that use movement. It can be going out for a walk. And all it is bringing your attention to how you actually feel in your body. So one idea that you can use is just really slow head circles, neck circles. If you do that for a few moments and you tune into what your muscles feel like, your breathing, that is a great form of meditation. I have meditated with so many women in that way who have said, oh my gosh, I have done seated meditation for years and it takes me at least 30 minutes to get into the zone. But doing what I just did with you, it took less than 5 seconds. It's very rewarding. So let's recap. The origins of meditation are with masculine energy. Nothing wrong with it. Doesn't necessarily serve women in the best way. The problem with meditation in that way is that it's not honoring your feminine side. And it can create more stress and struggle and make you not want to do it. Meditation is good for us, and there are 2 best ways to do it for women. The first one is with 3 questions. When was a time I felt happy and joyful? When was a time that I felt peaceful? And when was a time that I felt loved? That's one great form you can do anytime, any place. The other best form of meditation for women is mindful movement. It could be neck circles, it could be going for a walk, it could be doing stretches, it could be Tai Chi or Qigong, as long as you are focusing on how it feels in your body, you will be able to release the thoughts. I hope that was helpful. Now, here is the gift I want to share with you. It is a daily self-care checklist. And this isn't just a page with some boxes and writing on it. It is a teaching. It will give you some clues and some actionable steps on what courageous self-care actually is and how it can show up on a daily basis in your life and transform it. What a great thing to do. So you can go and get that at ChristinaMarlette.com. It's called the Daily Self-Care Checklist. That is what I wanted to share with you today. I'm so grateful that you took time to join me. This is a form of self-care, showing up and listening and improving your life. I'll leave you with the thought that I say at the end of every show. Self-care is not selfish. It is the exact opposite. When you take time to prioritize your own well-being, not only do you feel better, and then you have more energy to give to others, you're also affecting every relationship in your life because you're showing up with love instead of with irritation and bitterness and resentment. Then that self-care that you've given to yourself, that changes your vibration, the energy that you're putting out into the world, and it literally affects the entire globe. So if you are looking for anything selfish in that, you are not going to find it. There's nothing selfish about self-care. So I encourage you to practice self-care, perhaps in the form of feminine energy meditation. Thank you so much for listening. If you liked this episode, please go ahead and like, comment, and share it with your friends. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the channel. The show airs every Monday through Friday. Be sure to come back and listen again for more great information. I'm Christina Marlette. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Bye-bye for now.